He's like, man, I did some work for another company and they never paid me, as a subcontractor. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, man. He said they didn't get paid, so they couldn't pay me. First of all, why would you put up with that? That's number one. But number two is, why would you do that to somebody? If you hire me as a subcontractor to do a job, just because the client doesn't pay, doesn't relieve you of the responsibility to pay me. I got a big picture of that, working out. I mean, I'm just looking at that in my world and saying, okay, I've really got a big picture of calling Advanced Turf up, for an example, and saying, hey, I can't send you that $8,423, that we bought chemicals last month because I've still got $10,000 out from my customers, or Sigma Organics or whoever it may be, pick a supplier. But why do we treat each other that way? Why do you accept that treatment from somebody? The other thing we hear a lot here is about getting paid, from different people coming in and saying, what's your pay schedule and do we actually get a check? It's up to you as the business owner. And if your company's bigger, the manager of that department. Let's look at payroll, since that's what we're talking about. To pay your employees. It's not their fault if Sally Smith didn't pay her bill or ABC Business didn't pay their bill. That's your job. That's your job as the owner or the manager to make sure that that money's collected. We talked about collections the other day. One day, I think Monday of last week, or I think it was. But the reality of it is, you can't tell your employees that, well, I'm sorry, I'd really love to pay you, but we don't have the money to pay you. That's not their fault. They worked in good faith, whether it's as an employee or as a subcontractor. Don't let somebody continue to take advantage of you. Don't let anybody take advantage of you. And certainly if they do, don't consider going back for more, because it's shame on them the first time, but it's shame on you the second time. So how do we go about maybe getting paid, right? How do we go about getting paid? Let's look a little bit on that collection side for a minute. On clients that don't pay. What have you done to collect the money? That's the first thing you got to ask yourself. Have you reached out to that customer? And I've just had several guys reach out to me after that show last week and ask me if I'd elaborate a little on it. It's the only reason I'm elaborating a little bit on it. So first thing, make sure you've sent a bill. It amazes me, a lot of companies that I work with, when they talk about receivables, and the reality of it is the work's not invoiced. It's not been invoiced. Well, that's why maybe you're having some cash flow problems. Get the invoice out yesterday. Don't hold on to those invoices. Get those invoices out right away. And then if it's not paid, do you have a follow-up system in place? In other words, are you just waiting till you look in your bank account and saying, oh, damn, I don't have enough money for payroll. I don't have enough money for quarterlies, or I don't have enough money for this or that, or I can't pay my suppliers, or, and then that's when you start going around and start dialing for dollars, or going around and seeing people and saying, hey, I need to get some money. Have a plan in place. Know that, hey, after you send an invoice out, are you going to wait 5 days? You're going to wait 10 days? Are you going to have somebody set up on an auto pay? I suggest that you have people set up on auto pays. So we've transitioned well over probably half of our customers, I'd say, to at least that. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but I know it's to auto pays. So we're not worrying about collecting. We're not, because every day you wait, the less valuable that money is. And now if you wait a week or two to get your invoicing out after the work's done, now it takes a week or two. That's too much money in float. That's way too much money floating around out there that you need. And when you do approach a customer about getting paid, don't be embarrassed to ask for it.